Everybody, welcome. This is Marnie. I'm excited to be here this afternoon doing my Canva training with you. And I am going to use these first 20 minutes to screen share. I go pretty fast, so I'm going to cover as much ground as I can. But what you know for sure is if you track what second or what minute we're on in the tutorial, you'll be able to go right back there and look it up again. So all of this is going to stay here available to you on YouTube. And so you can just go ahead and come back and slow it down anytime you need. I use Canva every day almost. Literally, I'm on Canva probably as much as I'm on social media. And so it's become a good friend to me. I've invested a lot of money over the years into graphic artists, and I still do that some, but mostly I do it myself now. And I just wanted to spend some time sharing with you some of my super fast strategies that I use. The other thing is at the end of the tutorial part, then I'm going to open it up for Q&A because this is live streaming on so many channels right now. If you have a question, please enter it at the YouTube link. That would be the easiest for me to see, and I will probably for sure see it there. If I'm not seeing your question and you want to make sure I answer it, just post it again when I get to the Q&A section. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and screen share with you right now. And let's see, there we go. Okay, so here's Canva. When you come home to Canva, you can either have a paid or a free membership. I do a paid membership because, again, like I say, I use it all the time, and I go over here to all of my designs. So I was just working on some Canva publicity right before we started this training. I just put a few things together, and this shows all the things that I've just been working on in the last day or two, few days. I want to stop right here, because this is what I call a template. We'll be using this in just a minute. But I want to start with, do you see how I've got a lot of scripture quotes here? That's one of the things that I use most frequently in my social posting. So I'm going to go ahead and do the 15 by 1500 to get us started. I'm going to do a very simple, one of the things that I have, and let me just stop sharing for just a sec here so I can come back and show you this. And you have it however you have it. I have a big document like this. These are the meditation verses. These are my top favorite 200 verses. And so I'm going to use just a portion out of a scripture. And when I use that, I highlight it so I know I have used it. I can always come back and use it again. But that's how I keep track of what I'm doing. And you have to have some way to keep track of what you're doing. I mean, you have to have some way. So up at the top right, you're going to see over here, I am going to put my verse here. And now I'm going to identify that this is the square layout. So this is for, I use Square at Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and at my business, Google, for sure. I use it there. Now, what I know is I have a few words that I want to put in here. So I'm just going to grab over here on the text side. I'm going to grab a text. I'm going to make it big enough that I can read it. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to quick type my text in here from this. I have plans to give you a hope and a future. So this is going to be my main text. And as I'm working, I'm going to kind of be thinking about this. So right now I want to find something for the background. And this is absolutely incredible. You can do anything you want. In a moment, I'm going to show you how to use some backgrounds. But right now I want to show you on this one how to use flowers, okay? And you can upload, I've got so many things in my files myself. But right now I'm going to show you how to search for flowers. I have plans to give you a hope. So I just want to type in hope. I might type in, if I don't see something right away, I might type in hope flower. This one is kind of cool, right? Because it's giving us the feeling of bursting out. I kind of like the feel of that one. You see how I'm dragging this corner piece right here? So I can drag it this way, or I can make it bigger and smaller using the edges. And I really want to focus on the grading there. Do you see how it snapped in and it locked right there? So one of the things that you can do is you can, if it snaps in too soon, I just go back, and then it gives me my free editing again. Okay, because sometimes it's like I wasn't, again, I wasn't quite ready for it to lock in there. And sometimes it locks in just a little soon. So I'm going to actually, as soon as it feels like it's over your full page, it will lock in like that. And just like you can see me actually having trouble with it, there's a lot to learn here. And I think that if you expect that it's going to be easy and fast to learn, it won't be. But I've gotten really pretty fast at all of this now, and I really love it. It's something that I actually do this for fun now, instead of just doing it for, business marketing or whatever. This is just pleasure to me to play with these. So now I've got kind of my outline. That just took me a few seconds. And now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually do this. Now I'm going to decide what is the font that I'm going to use for it. And this, again, is just super fun. I can actually lose quite a bit of time over here on the left bar. It's up here that I clicked on font. And I want to just make sure that you guys are being able to see me right now. Is everything good? Yep. Okay. So we're all good there. If you can't see me or something, just give me a note. All right. So over here, I'm going to pick a different font because this one is like kind of heavy. But Gorilla sounds kind of fun. Ooh, I just kind of like that. And then it's kind of, see how the spacing is too far apart? So over here, I can change my letters, how far apart my letters are. And here I can change how far apart my height is. And I really like that. Now my challenge, if you're with me, my challenge is, and I'm going to just make this a little more, yeah, there we go. I liking that. And I'm going to get rid of my quotes because clearly it's a quote. I'm going to put a Bible verse on it. So I'm going to get rid of my quotes, and it's going to make it just feel a little bit more friendly here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make it pop out a little bit. See how it's kind of lost in there? Some of the dark spots you can't see. So if you go to effects, you can pick any of these effects. My favorite is right here. I slam this to the right. I slam this to the right. I slam this to the right. I pick a color I want. And sometimes it'll like give you default colors here. I often will just go with a white. I'm going to try a gray on this one just because of the picture. And boom, I'm done with highlighting it. However, I'd like to give it just a little more pop. So I take it off of that one. I do Control C to copy it, Control V to paste it. I line it up exactly again. Then I just bring this direction all the way around. And now see how that stands out really nicely? Boom. Okay. Now with my text on my scripture, I usually use a much smaller text and a lighter weight text because it's not really what they're focusing on. It just also needs to be here. 29:11. And if I'm using A or B or ANB or something, I usually don't even worry about it on these. It's not like you're trying to be a Bible teacher right here. You're just trying to, how I say it is that my goal is to turn thoughts toward Jesus. That's really my heart here, is to turn thoughts toward Jesus. So right now I'm kind of looking for the right color for this, and I like that. I think that feels really about weighted right. The last thing I do is I brand this. Can you believe it? Even though I'm using all of their photos, all of their fonts, all of their artwork, I get to brand it with my station, with my channel, which is to me truly amazing. So however much they need to charge, okay, because that's just worth it. Okay, now we're going to go here one more time. We're going to pick a background color. And I think I want it a little darker. There, that looks good. And we're done with square. So that is number one. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to download this, save, download. And I'm going to give you a little trick here. This took me a bit to figure this out. Instead of just making this now into a tall one or into a wide one for other channels, I'm going to resize it. This is so slick. Currently it's 15 by 1500. I'm going to resize it once for one way and the next time for the other way. So I'm resizing this twice. And I'm also here making a copy. I don't know what's doing there. Let me just do this here. 300. that is not working for me. Let's take it off, take it on again. Usually it's so slick. There we go. Copy and resize. Now I've got 2 copies over here. I'm going to start with the one that's ready right away. I pull this one over here. I'm going to actually get rid of this one for a second because I want, it's a little different now, right? The layout's a little different. And so I'm going to do it just a little different because I want it to fit the space that we have. Now I'm going to Control C, do this here, and then I'm going to go back and I'm just going to wing the direction the other way, right? To just give it a little bit of pop there. Boom, done. This one goes back underneath, and I can either make it bigger or smaller. I'm going to leave it just like that. I'm going to leave the bottom just like that. Do you see that there's a little purple line that's coming to show me if I'm in the center? Isn't that amazing? It can also, if you've got stuff on both sides, you can also use the purple lines on the edges to make sure that your edging is proper. But because the way that this is, that is all ready to go now, except I'm just going to go to the end. I'm going to say this is my wide version. And I am going to File, Save, and Download. If you just change it on, if you just use the same one and make changes and save, you lose your originals. So that's what I figured out the hard way. I was like, where do all my originals go? But it was because I was making all 3 sizes out of one instead of changing them as I went. The other thing is sometimes you have to redo your photo. On this one, it just worked out really great that the photo just so happens to work really great with the whole thing here. And I may just choose to center this one because I can, right? The other thing is I may flip it. On this one, I think it might look better to have the front be white and the back be black. See how that just pops now on here? And again, we're looking for that purple line there in the center where it shows me that I've got it centered. I'm going to use this here, and then I'm going to switch that also to white. Boom. And actually, because of the flowers there, that's where it has to be. Done. So I now have 3. I basically have 1 post ready to go in 3 sizes for all of my social sharing. The next thing I want, I'm just going to peek here, make sure we're doing good. Okay, looks good. Great. Fantastic. So the next thing we're going to do now is I'm going to show you what happens to them when I get down here to the file area. So here's where they come. I have my computer set up that everything I download downloads right to this main download bin. And then I have files on this side under my media. I have a social sharing, and I have 2 sets of files down here. So everybody does theirs differently. I don't use a scheduling tool for my socials because too many of the things that I do don't jive with it. So I have to do it hand anyway. So I just do it all by hand. So this is how I keep track of mine. Okay. This happens to be a floral scripture. And so I'm going to highlight it. I've got my mouse over here. I left click my mouse and I grab those. And I'm going to put it into floral quotes that are ready to use. Floral quotes ready to use. I'm just going to show you what's in here real quick. And a bunch of these ready to go. Now, under recently used floral quotes, I have a bunch more. Okay, so that's how I do it. I'm just going to show you my categories real quick. Sorry, I got to scroll up and down a bit. And let's see, here we are. So this falls into the category kudos reusable. So once a year, Elena does this visibility Kickstarter. So I'm going to be using it tomorrow, as well as I can use it again next year. This one, I'm leaving this here because this is the one we're going to work on next. This one here is an interactive. So it has a question in it. It causes people on social media to actually want to type something below my post. So I have a whole file for interactive. Again, you guys can like stop this and come down and track those down later. This one here is my dog with his little toy. And he set that up himself. I just happened to look over and there he was. And this is how it looked. And I thought that's hilarious. So I took this picture. This goes into the Humanized Marnie set. So what happens is, as a public person, you got a bunch of stuff going on. You're promoting things. I share a lot of encouragement and aha quotes and things like that. But sometimes I just have to share something just for fun about me. So I call that Humanize Marnie. And these are, again, the ready ones. As soon as I use them, on the day that I use them, I put them down into here so I can easily see where I'm at. This is the pray. Now, this one happens to be a post that is an aha quote, because one of my favorite quotes always to say is, pray like a dolphin, which is, dolphins are water dwellers, but air breathers. We are earth dwellers, but prayer breathers. Okay, so this is something I'm always trying to teach. So that's an aha quote. The next one I have here, this one is promoting my own stuff. So remember how I said kudos, reusable? This is me promoting someone else. Promo reusable is me promoting. This is a new resource that I'm working on. So I'm going to put that in promo reusable. Okay, awesome. So the next thing I wanted to show, that clears out. Now my downloads bin only has one thing in it because I only have a square version of this. And I want to also, now I close these down. I want to show you two more things. One of them is with this one that I just had up there, this one here. So one of the really fun things with Canva is that they have this thing called elements over here. So I can upload. I'm going to show you how I do that in just a second. And I showed you photos already. They also show you just templates. Like you can just totally use one of their templates and personalize it. It's so easy. And if you use one of their templates and you say, I'm not going to do that right now, but if you want a different color, it's always right up at the top, all of your options. All right, right here. This was using elements. And I wanted to go, I went blue, and I went graphics. And I found some of these things that I've just layered on. Can you see how this is just layered on in there? And so now I'm going to show you as I do the next size then. I'm going to show you, I want to first save that one, and then I want to resize it, my two sizes again, 23, copy, resize, and I go back over to this one real quick. And you're like, I could never do that, but you could. Actually, there's just a little tiny learning curve here, and then you could actually do this because it's just so easy. And we're going to go, actually, this one, copy, resize. Okay. Here's this one. Now, when you get here, you see, okay, it doesn't lay out the same, right? So here was our original, beautiful, just laid out really great. But here's what happens when we move it. Now, on this one, I actually want it to be flat. And so I'm going to just real quick flatten these guys out. Here's your little turner thing down there. And you can make this longer or shorter here. And you can change the size of it here. All right. Now I want to grab this one and put these guys in here, and I didn't quite get it flat. Also, sometimes just depending on the thing, you can use this to make it bigger. If you're having, like if I'm having trouble getting it flat, sometimes I'll just go all the way out because it's just a little too small to manage it. All right, and I'm looking for there's my little purple line there. There's my purple line. And this one I want flat also. And then this one is just going to go over here. Now, I'm going to have to change some things and see how this is here. Okay. The other thing is I did this on this one. It started being like that, but I didn't want it so loud. So this is the transparency button. Boom. And I didn't want the green on there. So I just pull it all the way to the edge. This one back here is my background, and I can't actually, they save the ones you've recently used, which I think is just brilliant. So helpful. Because it is the backdrop. Remember how I said it will lock it in as soon as it feels like it's pretty safe, it'll lock it in. So I want to replace that background, but now we can't see any of that other fun stuff I did. So I positioned this to the back. There we go. And now everything is looking good. I just want to move this guy down here. I've got this one up here that I can move over. And I think I'm just going to turn it because we've got a lot more space to fill here. And this I want to have this one go down. This is all too high for this one. So anyway, this is just this is how I play. And if you don't like doing stuff like this, hire somebody to do it because it's real futzy and everything. But to me, it's kind of like art. It's just really fun. And I celebrate doing it so much. I just have so much fun doing it. Once again, this one you can see I've got way down on the transparency, but if I did it like that, it would look so dorky. But if you pull it back and just make it part of this really fun background, this one I'm going to just take transparent just a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, maybe even make that one quite a bit bigger, I think. If you can't get at something, it's because it's positioned wrong. So then just move here and bring it to the front or bring it all the way to the front. And then when you're done playing with it, take it to the back again. Okay. All right. So we have got our Freedom Wide is ready to go. And then after this, there's just one more thing I want to show you. It's just how to use a template. So after that, I will get to the Q&A. Boom. And the only other thing, I always use JPEGs, that whatever size I chose, and then the quality all the way to 100%. I save it, but it usually doesn't save it. So I'm not sure why. If somebody knows that, you can tell me that in the notes, and I would be so grateful. All right. And you know what? Even though this one, remember how on the wide one, it didn't look right because, just because it was, that picture didn't go over it. This one looks really good to me, except for like up here, I'm going to have to flip this one around. So there, we're going to go there. Okay. And I want that to be way bigger so you can hardly even tell what it is there. All right. So that's, gosh, that's pretty close to, actually, I might move this one over here and this one again, way bigger and down a bit. And I think I'm cool with that. Now, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do that I didn't have time to show you here, but I wanted to just show you a few of my, and I might make this just a little tinier. Always remember borders because you want and see how cool this is when I'm working on my border and it's showing me, like I can go right to that purple line. See the purple line there? And it'll show me how far I am from that same matching purple line over here. It'll give me that so I can know where I'm at. I just think it's amazing. All right, so I'm just going to make this a little smaller. I'm going to pull this bigger just so I can see what I'm doing a little bit. And this one is just not laid out quite right. I think that might be it. And we'll take it down there. Yeah, just a little smaller yet. Yay. I want to show you real quick before I get to the last thing I'm going to show you is the templates, how to use your templates. And I use it a little differently than they set up. Of course, you can use it whatever makes sense to you. You know what? I don't love this. I'm just going to make a quick change on this. I'm going to take that to 110. That's where we're doing our sizing up here. It's not letting me because I'm live. Right. Okay, I'm just going to go for it. You can do it manually or you can do it like this. Okay, I kind of liked it just a minute ago. And I like it like that. And it's a little heavy on the font, so I'm just going to find kind of a little lighter font, maybe not quite that light. There's such beautiful fonts here. Like I say, I can just play with fonts for hours. I don't, but I could. And sometimes I just do, actually, if I want to. Okay, there we go. And now see how far apart those are? I just usually have to go in here and adjust how close I want those together. And where exactly do I want this to be put? And how... I'm not sure I want it fully black there. I think I might want it to just be a little quieter. And because I did that there, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Whoops, do this here too, a little bit, just so that's kind of the afterthought. The main point of this one is freedom. Okay, done. Okay, that's it. And then before I move on to my next thing, I always go back to my download file and I make sure they're all here. They're not. I don't have my tall one yet, so let me just, I pop off of it and back onto it real quick. Hang on, let me just shut some of these things down. Let's see here. No. So somehow my tall one didn't come down. And I always like to double check it because once I leave, it's just kind of a pain to come back. So I like to double check. Boom, down. And then we should have all three of those in the file. There we go. And what I want to do now is because these are a scripture and they are not recently used and they're not really a floral. Like I have a specific idea in mind when I say a floral, so I'm going to put them under a scripture. Okay. Now my folder's empty. Go back. The last thing I want to show you is and then I just close those folders. And then I keep going. Okay, the last thing I want to show you is how I use my templates. So I have a template for my show. I right-click, open in a new tab, right-click, open in a new tab, and right-click, open in a new tab. Okay? Then I come in here and I make my copy. Now, you can use a template, and they have templates. I have just found that for how I personally use it, this is the fastest way for me. And as soon as I click that make a copy, I leapfrog, I delete the original and I leapfrog. And see, it's taking a few seconds to load. So it all works out just fine. It just saves me a second. Make a copy. I go back and I delete the original. So these are guests that are going to be on, that I'll be doing Facebook Lives with, and then also that will be on the radio show later. And this one also this is my original, I can tell. And I'll show you how I can tell that in just a second. So I want to delete that original. And I go back to my first one. Now up at the top, I have copy, 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 copy. Okay. So I'm going to save the T and I'm just going to do one that came in this week, Jennifer Cattamore. I'm going to actually just pull Connie's photo out. And the title, we're going to replace with the title of this one, which is Worth Every Second. All right. And because of time today, I'm not going to do a subtitle there. I may come back and do that later. Jennifer Cattamore. And this is really the part I wanted to show you right now, is this part where you have an upload opportunity. I've got Jennifer's photo uploaded here. I pull it over. I just leave it right there. I click effects and I have it start beginning the background remover. As I do that, I just go to the next two and I do the exact same thing. Now you might say, why don't you just start, finish one off and then do it again, is because in this particular case, there's enough structured backgrounds and stuff here that to do it the other way is harder. So that's why I wanted to just show you this. But this background remover is absolutely amazing. I used to pay somebody every single one of these that I needed done. I paid to have it done and it took a lot of time. And now just in seconds, boom, we've got, now you can see, you just have to start playing around kind of with it a little bit. How much of her head we want to have seen here. And what I want, because we have a short title here, I'm going to move this to the right. That's up here. And then I'm going to pull this one that way. And we're actually going to make that bigger. And we're going to move it down. And we're going to move her up. And then we're going to, I think I'm going to flip. So right here, you can flip horizontally. Boom. Look at that. Getting close here. Yes, that is what I wanted right there with Jennifer Cattamore. Tall. Now, you can see it's overlaid imperfectly. So highlight it again, position it to the back. And now, boom, we're done. So I'm going to go back through now and do the other ones here. But first, I want to say that that's kind of the end of what I wanted to show you as far as it goes today. So let me stop sharing my screen for just a moment here. There. Okay. So let's see how we are doing here. And oh, Jennifer's here. How fun is that? Yay, Jennifer. Okay, Debbie Roth. And how do you know what size to use for Facebook, Instagram, etc.? Right. So you can actually go to, because there are so many, if you go to Google and you just type in image size for Instagram, image size for story, Facebook story, image size for Facebook post, image size for YouTube cover, like that. You can get a whole list. And what you saw that I do is just kind of a cheat. I just do 15 by 1500, 1500 by 1500 for my squares. Then I do 23 by 15 for my talls, and I do 15 by 2300 for my wides. And it isn't perfect, but it's close enough for me. So that's what I do. And then I've got it all covered. Awesome. Maureen, hello, hello, hello. How do you size to use again? Great, great. Love doing this. I can lose hours. I know, right? It is true. You can totally lose hours doing this. So that's the extent. If you're watching at a different location and you have a question, you go to Facebook and type your question in there, if you would, please, because that's going to be where I'm going to be able to see them real quick. Okay. As we have a couple minutes left and no more questions at this time. Okay. Donna, thanks, Donna. Okay. So I'm going to go back over here and share my screen again and just show you a few other things. Because I can, right? Okay, so out here where we have all of your designs, and oh, I know what I wanted to show you for sure. And I'm just going to make a new one here. I'm going to come back to you, Jennifer. Don't worry. I will finish those. Okay, so when we have a new design here, you have the opportunity to do basically anything is your background, and they do have these for you. I just wanted to show you this, and I'm just going to grab this one real quick, because what you can do is you can change the whole layout of these right up here. They have default colors going on, but then also, let's say you like yellow, but just not that yellow. You can just click this one and you can get it to be whichever tone you wanted it to be or whatever. And then after that, what's going to happen is they're going to keep that for you. And that's going to help a lot. So I really love that option there. And I'm just going to do another one here for you. So when you don't know how to begin, I'm going to start with photos here. When you don't know what to do, what I do is, you can see these are my defaults: backgrounds, flowers, nature. I just did a 4th of July, summer, fireworks, a black background. So whatever you do, they're going to kind of remember it. And so it's so nice that I love Canva for so many reasons. Let me name the ways that I love Canva. So let's go sunset. And then I actually want a beach sunset. Boom. Now, as you can see here, there's the word that says pro. That means I can get out these because I have a pro membership. However, right here is where you tell them, I only want to see the free ones. Okay. Now, all those first ones go away. These are all free. So you actually don't have to pay for this. I think it's well worth it, but you don't have to. The other thing is, when you pick what you want to use, it's not going to probably come out exactly in the size that you have available. So you're going to have to keep popping it around a little bit. And like I mentioned earlier, as soon as it feels like you've locked it in, it's going to pop it down to just being that size. So sometimes, now it isn't, of course, because I'm demoing it. But sometimes what I do is I keep a little white showing until I'm close to what I want, and then I lock it in, because otherwise I have to start all over, go back up here. What you're looking for is, you're looking for the kind of thing that you can put some words over. Typically, you're not just going to throw a picture out here. You're going to want some words. And let's say I really want to focus on those, on the sailboat part of it. That's kind of cool there. And then you go and you start to do your text. You see how it's locked that down? And then you start to do your text over here. And you can do any kind of font you want. This is my default font, this playlist script. But if you don't know how to come up with your defaults, these are my defaults. But if you don't know how to come up with your defaults, you just scroll down here and you can see the fonts that they put together. They put these two together. They put those two together. They have different ones. This isn't giving me very many choices, probably because my own history has shown them that I'm pretty locked into a certain type of look. So when you start, though, they'll show you what kind of fonts to put together. And just because you use this doesn't mean you have to stick with it. And the other thing is, let's say now that this one is a I'm sorry, the back is purple. You don't have to stay with purple. You can go with black or even maybe in this one, maybe even white. And then maybe have the top be something other than white, maybe like a yellow or a burnt orange or something, maybe even a red. Okay, so when you do that, the other thing is I'm going to show you real quick here, then I'm going to check for questions again. When you're here doing this and they've got it kind of angled, but maybe I want it flat, the other thing you can do is you can go over here and you can ungroup it. So see how we've got both layers grouped right now? Let's say you just liked the font. You're like, I don't really want that whole back thing. I just wanted that font. Boom, it's gone. And then what is it? It's called Moon Time. So you can actually go over and you can go Moon Time, and it's going to say that we can't find it. So this is the only way you're going to be able to get at Moon Time is if you open it up that way, and then you just change what's written here. Pure, let's just say peace. Okay. And if I'm going to finish this now, I'm just going to look at it and I'm going to say, okay, that simply doesn't work for me. But what I think could work for me is if I did this with some orange glow behind it, or red or orange. I'm going to try the orange glow behind it. And I'm going to slam these out to the side again. And I'm going to boom, like that. And then I'm going to, because it's not kind of loud enough for me, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take the effects the other way, flip it this way, and be like this. Now, the other thing I can do is if I'm still like, I can copy it again and paste it again. And this time I might just want to say, I'd like it to make it just seem a little tougher, a little thicker. You can keep doing that actually. And I have to, in order to actually get it to be a little out, you have to make it bigger. This is where you zoom in. Okay, so that's just another way to do that. Okay, let me peek over here real quick. Do we have other questions? Okay. I can stop this. Okay, Jennifer. Have the free version, and I didn't realize all of their photos were usable and we could brand them too. I know. Isn't this incredible? It's so amazing. I always use my own pictures because I didn't want to deal with copyright issues. So it is amazing. I just can't even believe everything that they give to us for free over there. And I just want to show you one last thing, and then we'll be done. And you guys can continue the conversation over here amongst yourself or whatever if you want to, as long as you want to. Let me just pull this up. When I do elements, I love elements. Are really super fun. And if you just go background, red, okay, whatever. I usually do background blue. And then I go to graphics. Again, all of these are completely free to you, which is just incredibly crazy. So I'm just going to throw a background in here. And because it's a background, I don't want it to be very loud. I just want it to be there. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to throw that out there, maybe up here. And now you see how these are moving? You can tell it that you only want static as well. Okay. So you can tell it what you want. I just love that. Okay. Let's see. You can just pull this in, except I don't want all of it. Oops, that didn't work for me. That is one of the things I struggle with a little bit is that it does. Now on this one, you can see I don't have the side panels. I can't pull that in. And that's what my thought was to pull it in. I'm actually going to flip it and I'm going to take it right off screen and I'm just going to show a little bit of it. Okay. Because they aren't letting me make it smaller. Some of the photos do, some of the photos don't. And I want kind of another thing like this. How about this one? Looks kind of cool. Now, I'm not getting exactly what I want here. I'm wanting it to have a little bit of a floral feel to it. So now I'm going to go flower drawn. And it's going to give me some hand-drawn flowers here. And I'm going to go with, I like that. That's cool. And then you can pull that to the back. See, so you just have so much fun here with this and just do whatever, do whatever you want. And you can take that one and you can just make copies of it and make it just fill it all in over on this whole side. Could be all this kind of a look here. And you could even make some of them quieter than others. This can maybe go over in the center of it. And just, again, I would take it to just a real mild. And, then you've got just an amazing kind of fun background. So anyway, all kinds of stuff to do. We are just about out of time. I'm just going to check if there's any more questions right here, right now. And okay, so it looks like we're all good. That was fun. And like I say, I just love Canva. I can't say enough good things about Canva. And so I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that it saves you some time over time and that you can set up a filing system so you can get at your stuff quickly and share it broadly. We as Christians have the amazing opportunity to be on social networks and share Jesus. My mission vision statement is to encourage women, provide practical help, and turn thoughts toward Jesus. And what better way than to just be present and available, visible on social media, always and forever just turning eyes toward Jesus. So thanks so much. This was fun. Have a wonderful day. See you next time. Bye-bye.